Welcome to Section 5 of the Introduction to Linux module, Basic Networking. In this section, we will talk about how to configure interfaces in a Debian Linux environment. To change the hostname of a Debian Linux system, it is a three-step process. Edit the etc hostname file. The etc hostname file is a simple file. It contains one line and only the short name of the host. Do not put the fully qualified domain name into this file. Assign the new hostname to the 127.0.1.1 address in the etc host file, and then reboot the switch. All interfaces must be defined in the etc network interfaces file in order for them to be recognized by the system. The format of the entries in etc network interfaces is as follows. A line with the term auto in the interface name is required if you want this interface to be brought up using the -a option for the interface control commands, such as ifup. If you leave off the auto line, then this interface must be manually brought up by the administrator every time it comes online. This line is very important if you wish these interfaces to come up automatically at boot time, since the startup scripts that run the system will use the -a option when they bring the interfaces up. The next line starts with the word iface, followed by the interface name, and then an inet type. This indicates what type of interface is being configured. The permitted inet types are DHCP for a DHCP-enabled address, Loopback for a Loopback-style interface. Loopback is an interface that refers to the system itself without being tied to a physical interface, or static, if I intend to assign a static address rather than using DHCP for my address type. After that, you can fill in options to control how this interface runs. For example, if you intended to have jumbo frames, you could specify a frame size and an appropriate size on this line. In many Linux configurations, ETH0, the first Ethernet port on the system, will be set up as a DHCP-enabled address. So the entry for ETH0 will read auto ETH0, iface ETH0, inet DHCP. If you wish to have a static address assigned, you can go in and change etc network interfaces and modify it just slightly. You can change the inet type to static, and then simply list out the IPv4 and or IPv6 addresses and gateways you wish to associate with this interface. The loopback interface is handled in a very similar fashion. You say auto LO, iface LO, inet loopback to indicate this is a loopback interface, and then simply list your addresses. Both IPv4 and IPv6 addresses are supported with the loopback interface type. If I wish to see the port state of all the interfaces on my environment, I can use the command ip-link-show. The ip-link-show will give me the state of all the interfaces currently active on my environment. Be aware that this information will often flow off screen in larger environments, so you may want to append a pipe to less after the command in order to view this information one screen at a time. An alternative is to look at an individual device by typing in the words ip-link-show dev and then the name of the device. To verify network connectivity, you can use the ping command. The ping is a standard command used across most operating systems. In this example, we're showing a special option called -I, which allows me to select what is the source address of the ping coming from my system. This is useful in situations where you have multiple IP addresses assigned to a single Linux system and you wish to check connectivity from a specific interface. Another way to check connectivity is to run this traceroute command. The traceroute command takes the argument of a destination and will walk you through the hops that you must traverse in the network in order to reach your destination. If I have routing set up, I can use the ip-route-show command to show me the routes that are defined on my environment, and I can say ip-route-get with a destination to see the next hop going to that location. If I need, I can also use the arp command to see the IP to MAC address mappings that my system has discovered. arp-a will show me the cache, and if I wish to refresh the cache, I can delete individual entries and then run arp-a again.